Have you ever walked into a conversation and suddenly your brain files for bankruptcy? Someone says, "So, what's new?" And somehow the smartest thing your brain can produce is nothing much. 5 minutes ago, you had opinions, stories, random facts nobody asked for. You were literally giving TED Talks in your own head while showering. Now, nothing. Not even the alphabet. If you've ever thought, why do I become boring the second someone talks to me? You're not boring. Your brain is just doing something incredibly normal. And once you understand why, you'll realize you've probably never actually been running out of things to say.
The biggest lie about good conversation, here's what most people believe. Good conversationalists always know what to say. But that's backwards. The people who seem effortlessly funny, the ones who somehow turn buying toothpaste into an entertaining story, they're usually not thinking of better things to say. They're thinking less. Sounds strange, but psychology has found something interesting. When you're constantly monitoring yourself, does this sound stupid? Am I talking too much? Should I stop? Your brain is splitting its attention. Part of it is trying to have a conversation. The other part is acting like an overprotective security guard, checking every sentence before it leaves your mouth. Imagine trying to dance while proofreading your own steps. Good luck. That's why your mind freezes. Not because it's empty, because it's crowded. Next time you're talking, notice when you start editing yourself. Just notice it. You don't have to stop it yet. Awareness is enough. Because you can't change something you don't catch.
Your brain is looking for the perfect thing to say. Let's be honest, we've all done this. Someone's talking, and instead of listening, you're holding a meeting inside your own head. Should I tell that story? No, too weird. What about that joke? Too risky. Maybe ask a question? Too interviewish. Should I laugh? Was that funny enough? Congratulations, you've just turned a casual conversation into a corporate board meeting. I've done this too. Sometimes I spend so much time preparing my next sentence, the conversation changes topics. Twice. Now everyone's discussing holidays, and I'm still mentally introducing my pizza story. Psychologists call this self-monitoring. It's useful sometimes, but too much of it kills spontaneity. The best conversations aren't carefully manufactured. They're built from reactions. One thought leads to another, then another, like tossing a ball, not writing a speech. Instead of asking, what's the best thing I can say? Try asking, what's genuinely interesting about what they just said? Your next sentence becomes much easier because now you're responding, not performing.
Why curious people never run out of things to say. Here's something that changed the way I look at conversations. Interesting people usually aren't trying to be interesting. They're curious. Big difference. Think about children. They ask, why? How? Really? What happened then? They don't worry about sounding impressive. They're trying to understand. Adults often reverse that. We stop exploring and start performing. That's exhausting. Curiosity is lighter. When someone mentions they just got back from a trip, instead of searching your memory for your own vacation story, ask, what surprised you the most? Now you've unlocked an entirely new conversation. Not because you had something brilliant to say, because you opened a new door. Curiosity creates momentum. Performance creates pressure. Give yourself one simple mission. Leave every conversation knowing one thing you didn't know before. That alone changes your focus.
Stop trying to fill every silence. Here's a weird one. Silence isn't actually the enemy. It just feels like it is. Most of us experience 2 seconds of silence as if civilization has collapsed. Our brain goes, say something, anything. So, weather exists. Sometimes the other person is just thinking. Confident people don't panic during pauses. They let conversations breathe. Funny enough, that makes people feel more comfortable around them. Psychologists call this tolerance for silence. People who have it usually appear calmer, more confident, even when they're saying less. The next time there's a pause, count to 2. Don't rush. You'll be surprised how often the other person continues talking. Conversations aren't performances. Here's the biggest mindset shift. Most people secretly believe conversations are tests.
Pass or fail. Be funny or be forgotten. Say something smart or everyone thinks you're boring. But that's not how real connection works. People rarely remember your exact words. They remember how they felt around you. Did they feel heard, relaxed, safe, understood? That's what sticks. Think about your closest friend. You probably can't remember every conversation you've ever had, but you remember how easy it felt. No scripts, no pressure, just talking. That's the goal. Not perfection, comfort. Instead of trying to impress someone, try making them comfortable. Ironically, that's usually what impresses people most. The secret nobody talks about. Here's something most conversation advice ignores. You don't become interesting by collecting better stories. You become interesting by noticing more. The person who notices tiny details always has something to talk about. The dog wearing sunglasses, the child arguing with a pigeon, the coffee cup that somehow says Monday even though it's Thursday. Life keeps giving us material, we're usually too distracted to collect it. Good storytellers aren't living more exciting lives, they're paying more attention. Every day, notice one small thing you've never noticed before. It trains your brain to see stories everywhere. Eventually, you'll stop wondering what to say, because your mind will already be full.
Maybe the goal isn't to never run out of things to say. That's impossible. Everyone has awkward moments. Everyone blanks sometimes, even the people who seem naturally confident. The real goal is to stop believing every pause means you've failed, to stop treating conversations like performances, and start treating them like shared moments. Because when you stop trying so hard to sound interesting, you finally have enough attention left to actually connect. And that's usually when the best conversations begin. If this made you look at conversations a little differently, then you'll probably enjoy the next psychology story too. So subscribe if you'd like more videos that explain the strange little things our minds do every day. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.